Howdy folks, monthly update for the month of February, standing here early March. 3 rounds out of 5 of the Six Nations in. Super Rugby is 3 rounds in. European Club Rugby is kind of coming towards the business end of the season as sides fight it out for those playoff spots. Let's go through some of the kind of big news events and videos and whatnot from February. And some big news events currently, like the Six Nations are going to need a new trophy. Like the fact that World Rugby's decided not to change any laws for their latest Shape of the Game meeting, and a few big name players who are on the move. We always start these monthly update videos with the stats and the thanks. So what were the kind of big news topics from last month? Well, Ireland beating England. That was one that certainly attracted a fair bit of attention. I think it's partly the fact that they won, but more about the way that they won, because that was such an emphatic victory. Like some of us picked Ireland, I picked Ireland by 1.
England. We all in England then in that one?
I'll be different again, and I'll say the Irish to get up.
And I was on the record saying I thought Ireland were being kind of unfairly dismissed as being too old, because Andy Farrell wasn't even with Ireland for the vast majority last year. He was off with the Lions, so I've always been of the belief he's still going to come back and have a good impact. Maybe it didn't look like it after the France result, but yeah, it's only one game, but it was a win for the Irish. And yeah, it certainly deservedly attracted quite a few views and yeah, a fair bit of chat. Now, while I am blowing my own trumpet that I got that one right, in the same week there were other predictions on and I got some wrong. So yeah, sometimes predictions can be a bit of a mug's game, but get a chance to blow your own trumpet when you get it right. Where are you guys all from? Well, not surprisingly, given Six Nations time, UK is the #1 area for this channel's audience, followed by Ireland. France is also in the top 5, despite the fact this is an all-English channel. We got a fair few French fans along, and South Africa's there in 3, Australia's 5, New Zealand is 6. It always tends to be that way depending on what the big international game's on. So it does make a fair bit of sense. We even had 305 views from Finland. So welcome along to all our viewers from Finland. Hopefully the weather is warming up for you soon, as it is starting to cool down here. Dublin was your top city. And I like scrolling to the bottom of the cities, because there's always some cities or towns or suburbs that YouTube lists as cities, which I've never heard of, including one which is pronounced Trilly, although the spelling is more like Trali. Initially, I had to look up the pronunciation. Trilly is a place in Ireland, a town in Ireland. I just watched the promotional video from your town. You got like a museum, you got some shops. Looks like a nice spot. You got like a fountain, some roses. Yeah, Trilly. Welcome along to all the viewers from Chile. I hadn't heard of your town before, but now I certainly have. 46% of you all watch on a mobile phone, and 23% of you watch on a TV, which is still quite disconcerting given the size of TVs these days. Maybe I need to get a better camera at some point, although maybe having a camera from 2018 is probably a bit easier on the eye, because you don't need this in high definition 4K, that is for sure. Interestingly, the age group of you all, like the 55 to 64-year-olds, topped the age group for, I think, the first time ever. But it's so even, because the age group before that, the 44 to 55-year-olds, 45 to 40, the next group below was 19%. The group below that was 19%. The group below that was 19%. And the group above this lot, the 65 plus, is a 17%. So it's like a real even split. I love that. It's not like a, it's not an oldies, it's not a youngies, it's just a spread of rugby fans. That's a very cool thing. Although there's a bit more disparity with the male and female thing, with it being 94-6. But I think 6% female is probably among the highest we've ever had. So welcome along. Wherever you're from, whatever your age is, whatever your gender, you're a rugby fan. So good to see you here. I do need to say also a special thanks to the patrons who keep the channel afloat. I always give these guys a shout out every month and scroll the names in this list of glory for supporting the channel, including Angus and Jack McHugh for sure. I genuinely mean it keeps the channel afloat, because YouTube is a fickle beast. I just checked my numbers from last year compared to this year for February. I got more views, but they paid me less, so that's just sometimes the way it goes. So if you can help out, from like $1 a month, please do so down in the description. It'd be good to have you guys along. Now, some bits of news. No law changes. World Rugby recently had their Shape of the Game meeting where representatives from all parts of the rugby world get together and discuss the state of the rugby game. And they have decided no law changes for this current meeting period, which I'm fine with, although some of the news coverage about this and other events gets so dramatic, clickbaity, rage baity, blown out of proportion, and I honestly can't stand it. I think that's just the way the media works and headlines get written, not just now, but for the last how many years. Maybe I'm just getting to be a grumpy old man, but I honestly can't stand the drama about some of the law stuff that gets debated, like, oh, last year when the Box were playing or when they were doing 7-1 splits, oh my God, the Box are terrible. It's the worst thing for rugby. It's dangerous. They've not banned it. It's still the same. Oh, New Zealand rugby and Australian rugby want to make it rugby league. They want to ban all the scrums, blah, blah, blah. What a load of rubbish. Like, New Zealand rugby doesn't want to ban all scrums. We won a World Cup with a prop scoring a try from a line-out play in 2011. If you saw the Crusaders play at the weekend, they scored a peach of a try. Will Jordan helped set it up from a scrum play. They don't want scrums gone, but they do discuss some possible like variations to the law. And I'm kind of middle of the ground with that one. Like, I literally watched a match with my mum the other day, and she asked me a question about something that had happened, and I told her what it was, and she just said, I don't know, I can't follow all the bloody law changes. They're always tinkering. So she's at the like, just leave it camp. Don't touch anything. But then I also watched another game with my son, and he tuned off about halfway through. Admittedly, it was a pretty bad Super Rugby game, Blues Chiefs. I think it was like 35 lineouts in that game, which was a lot. It was quite stop-start, and he kind of tuned out and went to do something else about halfway through. So I'm kind of in the middle, and that I would rather they don't tinker too much, but I'm not opposed to them trying the odd thing. Like they did the global trials, 20-minute red cards. There was a big furor about that. Oh no, guys are going to get assassinated. The top players are going to get murdered. They're going to get targeted, and it didn't happen. But they trialed it and then implemented it. I don't have a problem with it. They did the same with 50-22s. Trialed it, implemented it. I think it's worked out all right. Not everybody loves it. It's kind of each to your own, but I think it works all right. Some stuff they trialed and didn't implement. They didn't implement captain's challenges. They sucked. I hated captain's challenges. They were just wasted so much time when teams would put them up their sleeve and use it in the last 5 minutes on something frivolous. It was so stupid. And I think they trialed one-stop mauls, didn't use it. So I don't have a problem with them trialing it and seeing how it goes. But God, I hate the headlines where it's just like, New Zealand rugby trying to make scrums banned. If you don't, it's such nonsense. It's just bollocks. It's clickbaity, rage baity nonsense. So, no law changes. 7-1 splits were not discussed. The not scrummaging thing. It's all hot air. It's all rubbish. But they have come out and said they are trying to get more alignment from refs across different competitions, which is a good thing. Although I still think part of rugby is knowing how your ref that you've been assigned for that game refs the game. It's always been a thing that this ref's really hard on the breakdown, or this ref, really polices the offside line, blah, 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 blah. This ref lets a lot go. That's just been a thing. You play to the ref. It's just always been a thing. Obviously, as fans, we'd like it to be quite consistent, but it's also on teams to do their homework on the refs. Also, they said they want to evaluate the optimal use of TMO. And that's, again, one that like some people would like more, some people would like less. I generally would like less because I do think stopping the game as much as it gets stopped, not ideal. But yeah, there's a fine line between letting too much go and stopping the game every 5 minutes that it becomes like American football. But yeah, ultimately, no law changes, despite a bunch of hot air in recent times. What else is going on? There's the Six Nations Trophy. It's buggered. They're going to have a replica for this year, and they're going to commission a new trophy for 2027. There was a car accident with the vehicle that was carrying the trophy, and the trophy is not recoverable. The manufacturers have said, nope, it's gone beyond repair. So they're going to commission a new trophy. I'll be curious to see if they keep it kind of a similar design or go with something a bit bigger. I've always quite liked big rugby trophies. Like, I like the Bledisloe because it's a big friggin' trophy. And generally, rugby players are pretty big humans. The one thing I don't like about the Webb Ellis trophy is just how small it is. Especially when you see large rugby players holding. Like Martin Johnson holding the Rugby World Cup look kind of comical because he's such a large man holding such a small trophy. So I hope they go for something a bit big. But we'll see. It's a shame that it got damaged, but at least nobody was injured in the crash. And then some player movements. Leinster stalwart Luke McGrath, he's leaving for Perpignan, so that's going to be a big guy to replace, man. I feel like in another time he might have had a lot more Irish caps than he ended up getting. But he's been the guy, especially when the Irish squad was always away for Leinster. He was the guy who would fill in and be their first choice 9. So, yeah, as I said, gap to fill for the veteran. And then Faf de Klerk's been linked with a move back to South Africa with the Cheetahs, which I wouldn't have seen coming. But he's 35, so maybe he just wants to be a bit closer to home after spending so many years abroad. And then Thomas Gallo, one of my favourite props because of how dynamic he is around the park. He is heading to Lyon to play his rugby in the top 14, so he's leaving Benetton. But yeah, that's it for the month. Thank you for all the patrons for supporting. If you want to join them, there's a link down in the description. If you don't want to do something regular, you just want to drop us a few bucks for some beers, there's also buy me a beer down in the description too. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. That is the main thing which helps out, keep the channel going, keeps the community alive. As I said, we're a mix of people from different countries, different ages, all kinds of differences between us, but we're all here for the rugby, so it's great to be along. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.